Hey everybody. On this week's episode, we are just sitting around shooting the shit. Just Emily and I. We're taking a break from having a guest on and just doing a quick episode of her and I. We appreciate all of you listening so far, and next week we will have a wonderful guest on again. But this week, it's just me and Em, just talking about life and motherhood and random things that are valid to us. So we hope you enjoy it. We hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you are. Happy Wednesday.
You're listening to the Momsplanation. Real life, real moms, real talk.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is. Just hello and welcome to the Momsplanation. How are you, Emily?
I'm great.
You are?
Yeah.
You're dealing with a slithery snake of a baby in your arms today?
Yeah, full moon, I think. So she's just... There she is, yeah. She's clingy. She's... Yeah, 1 minute she's happy. The next she turns into a zombie.
It's one of those days where it's like, I love you. However, I just want you to comply to what I would like you to be doing so that I can get my own stuff done. But they don't care about that.
Zero.
I know my kids definitely don't care about that. No. Yeah. So I was reading some quotes about motherhood. I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I do this often. Like I'll go on Google and be like, what do people have to say about being a mother? So I have a couple that I wanted to share with you that I think are really funny. Well, and kind of true. Or hopefully they're true. Yeah. So this one is very true for me. So my home is filled with toys, has fingerprints on everything, and is never quiet. For sure. Yeah. My hair is usually a mess. Not usually. Yeah, always. And I'm always tired. But there is love and laughter. And in 20 years, my children won't remember the house or my hair, but they will remember the time we spent together and the love they felt.
That's lovely.
Isn't it?
That's so nice. Yeah,
Isn't
and that's
it?
so true.
Yeah.
I remember the good times of my child. Like, I remember the fun things, but I don't remember what my mom's hair looked like, or what she wore, or the house. Like, I don't remember shit like that.
Oh, funnily enough, though, I do remember the atrocious way my mother used to brush my hair.
Oh, you don't forget that.
Because it scarred me for life. So, that hair experience, I definitely remember.
Have you seen the video of the dad and the vacuum?
Yes, genius. Ponytail vacuum. I love that. Yeah. It's funny because my parents were divorced when I was younger, and my dad had to figure that out. He did not do vacuum ponytail, but he did figure out how to do a French braid.
Aw, that's sweet. I can't do a French braid.
I can't either, and I don't know how he learned. I'm sure someone taught him, but he was able to do it. So I think that was pretty good. And this is the other one that I really appreciate because I feel like this accurately describes myself and probably other people. I'm not really a mama bear. I'm more of a mama llama. Like, I'm pretty chill, but I'll kick you in the face if you screw with my kids. Right? Like, that's true.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Mama llama.
Yeah.
Hashtag mama llama.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm really chill, but I feel like, I definitely will kick you in the face if you screw with my kids.
Yeah. Don't even look at them the wrong way.
So, but it's funny how you can read these things and think like, yes, this is so true, or no, this is so not true.
Yeah.
But I feel like more often than not, when people are creating these little like quotes or these little memes that say things, they definitely speak to me more often than not. Oh, and they're usually like about something profane, like say something about, kicking people in the face or like,
I've thought about it.
Fucking die today. And it's like, there's an element of motherhood that creates this aggression in you that just makes you want to kick ass.
Someone actually came out and said it and made a quote.
Yeah, but I feel like that's so true because it's not just kicking people's asses. It's just like kicking ass in general. Yeah. So I really appreciate those. That's for sure. Especially because, the whole reason that I love talking to people and other moms is because I love to hear all of the shit that they're going through. Yeah. Because people are so, no, people are so, prone to say like, oh, my kid is so great, or, oh, this is so great. But like, I like talking to people about like, what I was telling you before about like, oh, Daenerys, she took a giant shit in the bathtub and like, things like that. I love hearing stories like that. Or like a friend of mine just posted something about, she put a diaper through the wash and she's
oh my God,
like,
no.
just,
no.
like that's how her Monday is starting and she's just had about enough because, all the little particles inside the diaper. Oh, they exploded
everywhere.
I've definitely done that too.
Wow, okay, not yet.
I think I've washed pretty much everything you can wash. Diapers.
Okay.
Food.
Cautious of that.
Yeah. Well, when your kids
I did do a granola bar, but it stayed in the package. That wasn't a bad one.
Yeah, but see, when your kids get older, they start putting things in their pockets that are no longer in packages.
Yeah.
I mean, the husband is guilty of it too because I'll wash something of his and there'll be money or receipts
tissues.
Or paper or tissues and they just go everywhere.
Yeah.
Laundry. Oh, sweetness. Laundry is my least favorite chore of motherhood.
I don't mind laundry, but I am only doing laundry for 3.
Yeah. I do laundry for 6 people.
Yeah, that's probably why.
And my son, specifically, the youngest one, never has anything clean. Yeah. He shits on everything. He spits up on everything. So I do laundry for him probably, unless I had the money to buy him a wardrobe that was, I don't know, hundreds of pieces deep. Yeah. I wouldn't have to do laundry as much, but nor can I afford that or do I want to do that. No. So laundry happens 4 times a week.
4 times a week.
Yeah, which really sucks. It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
So that's my least favorite mom chore. What's your least favorite mom chore?
Cleaning.
Yeah, I don't like cleaning.
Like at all.
Yeah. Does Tony do cleaning?
He does.
Oh, you're
lucky. He vacuums.
But do you have to ask him?
No.
Oh.
No. So I do the laundry and the cooking.
Yeah.
And he does all of the vacuuming, cleaning, fixing.
So did you grow up in a clean house? Tony did, I think, right? He grew up in a clean house?
Oh my God. Stupid clean.
Yeah, okay.
Like, he wasn't allowed to... Tony can't cook.
Yeah.
Because it's not that he didn't try. His mother didn't want her boys in the kitchen.
Okay.
Because things will get misplaced exactly.
Yeah.
So not his fault. And he does try.
Okay.
But to this day, his parents' house is spotless.
Really?
Spotless.
So he was partaking in cleaning, obviously.
Yes,
when he was
exactly.
Younger. Okay.
Whereas my mom, we woke up every Sunday.
Yes.
And we probably spent the morning cleaning. It was just like a Sunday, but it wasn't spotless.
Yeah. See, for me, I grew up, my mom, she didn't have a huge emphasis on cleaning the house. Yeah. But like if people were coming over, it became like a frenzy. Yeah. Like, oh my God, clean this, clean that, you know? And like, I think she just got to a point, like my perception anyways, is she got to a point where it's like, oh, these kids aren't going to clean their fucking room. I'm not going to stress about it.
The door.
Like, who cares,
Shut
right?
the door. Yeah.
And I get that. And that's, I feel how I am now. Yeah. It's like, I don't put an emphasis on cleaning. I, encourage my kids to clean up after themselves. Mm-hmm. But, if shit's a mess, like, I'm not going to stress about the mess. No. Like, it really doesn't.
And it will be back the same way in an hour, so.
But do you see people's houses who are like, so I'm a lurker for sure on social media. And I see people who are moms, and I don't know if they do this purposefully or this is just how their homes are authentically. But like, they'll have young children playing in a spotless home.
Yeah, that's not real.
Like, the carpet is spotless and there's no mess.
It's not real life. And I feel like if it's someone that has over 20,000 followers, they most likely have a cleaning lady. Because I know if I had 20,000 followers, I would have a cleaning lady.
Yeah.
But it's like the cleaning lady had just left. And they take this magic picture. Yeah. But then I bet in 3 hours, that house is a mess again. There's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry.
See, even if I had a cleaning lady, all I would want the cleaning lady to do is to clean the bathrooms and the floors.
Yes.
And that's pretty much
I want my baseboards wiped down.
Yeah.
And I want the cobwebs in the corners.
Yeah, and the windows out. Maybe.
Yeah.
But everything else is going to get messy.
Yes. Yeah. Empty my dishwasher. That would be, that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
See, I think Daniel grew up in a similar house where it was like his mom only did the frantic cleanup when people were coming over or whatever. Yeah. They didn't stress about it too much. So as a result, we're two people who are just oh, it's messy. But I have this feeling like I should have a clean house, so I stress about it way more than he does. But you have a very clean house in comparison to my house.
But you also have 4 children.
Yeah, but still. I feel it's pretty clean.
But with Tony and I, we're very minimalist too. Like,
yeah, we have a lot of shit
I'm
here.
the type that if something new comes into the house, something old has to go out.
Which is a great
So
great
if she
idea.
gets a new toy, I will get rid of a toy that she maybe played with for 5 minutes and... Right?
Yeah.
So, and same with growing up, we didn't have a lot of toys. We spent most of our time outside.
Yeah.
And with Tony growing up
European,
European,
toys either.
the house was always clean. There wasn't a lot of toys inside. They were all outside. So like the bikes and the, we used to have in the summer, Crocodile Nile. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You hooked it up to the hose.
Yes,
that was outside.
Yes.
So
We're
I recall
aging
my
ourselves.
childhood. I don't remember. I remember a Fisher-Price kitchen set. That's the one thing that sticks to my head.
Yeah, I had one of those too. And I remember Nintendo. I remember having Nintendo.
I got it in grade 2. Mine I got in grade 2.
Yeah, I don't know how old I was when I got it, but I do remember Nintendo. But I definitely know that I did not have the copious amount of toys that my children have.
Yeah. So I think that's why we feel that it's messier, because they have more toys than we did. And we could just
I don't
get
know why
bins
that
for
is.
them, but then your child's going to come down and dump the bin in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I try very hard to eliminate clutter.
Yeah.
But it just,
Doesn't
it just
happen.
keeps amassing.
No.
And I think that I would like to live in a clean house. But at the end of the day, this is the thing. I try to project myself like 20 years from now when all of my kids are grown.
Yeah.
And it's like, is my house going to be clean because there's no little people in it? I really don't know, because
tidier.
I find zero joy. Zero. In the act of cleaning.
Yeah.
I clean because I have to.
Yes.
I think there are people though that
It's
really enjoy it.
Yeah.
They really like it.
Yeah, it's
I don't
therapy.
find
That will
That's
never
not for
be
me.
my cooking is my therapy. I love cooking.
I like reading.
See?
Like I like to sit. Like I miss bubble baths. I haven't had a bubble bath since I was pregnant, so that's like 5 months ago, maybe even longer.
We should
but I
go
love
rent a hotel room.
bubble baths.
Like the one in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Was it Dumb and Dumber?
With the heart-shaped tub?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's what we should do.
Yeah.
We should.
So I would just love to sit in some warm water and read a book. Maybe have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
That would be my jam.
Yeah.
It's all these things that I used to do before I had so many kids that I miss. But it's funny because in this book that I'm reading, it talks about, making time for yourself and not romanticizing the time that you had before.
Yes.
But, making that time while you're enjoying this time of sort of chaos, of living in the trenches, of really being in the thick of it.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that.
I do
that.
reminisce coming home from work, taking off my uniform, putting on my pajamas, and taking a nap at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. I miss that.
Yeah.
But that's really it.
So for me, it's been 11 years of not being on my own, right? Like, I've gone through periods of not being in relationships with another adult, but
alone.
I've been a mother, and even in the times when my son would go, and it was just one at that time, and he would go and visit his dad, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I was very like, what do I do in these 24 hours that I'm on my own?
Yeah.
So I have no idea what it's going to be like when my kids are actually grown and I actually have time to myself.
You probably will feel the same. I don't know what to do.
Probably.
Maybe you'll go get a puppy or something.
Maybe.
You could rescue animals.
Yeah.
Animal sanctuary.
That's
also the dream.
Yeah, I want a dog. I think that's worked really well. I think, doesn't Goldie Hawn or something like that do that?
I think so.
One of those ladies, they have an animal sanctuary.
Yeah.
I think she's really cool.
Save cows. And
I wish she was my mom sometimes, Goldie Hawn.
She seems pretty cool.
Like, she seems really relaxed.
Yeah.
I think she's reached a state of relaxation that I aspire to, actually.
Yeah, she's very, very chill.
And she seems, you never know. People project things outwardly that may not be accurate, but she seems like she's very confident and happy with who she is and happy with her circumstance and happy
Did you see her on Ellen?
Yeah.
With her
daughter? Her daughter.
Yeah. That's a really cool relationship they have too.
I think so, yeah.
Like, her daughter's very cool, but her daughter has like 3 kids with like 3 different dads.
Yeah.
And mom's just like, yeah, we're having another one.
It's so funny because I was chatting with Daniel about that because I'm the same.
Yeah.
So I have 4 kids. There's 3 dads for the 4 kids. And I was like, well, it's like other people, get in the same situation, right? And little known facts. But, when I found myself in this situation, you feel really negative about it. Yeah. It's like, oh God, I have all these kids. There's different dads. Everyone looks down on it. Or I feel like everyone looks down on it.
I think back in the day, they used to look down on it.
I think people still do.
The older generation, yes.
I think so for Daniel's parents specifically, I think it was very difficult for them to accept me as his partner because I had 2 kids, 2 different dads. Oh God, who is this, trash coming in? So when I was pregnant with Daenerys, my 3rd, I was like, oh God, 3 kids, 3 different dads. So I started Googling, like, are there other people in the world that have
It's just me.
Is it just me? Am I that brutal? So I actually found out that, there are quite a few people and celebrities. Kate Winslet is one of them. Little known fact. She has 3 different dads for her kids. There's many that have 2 different dads. Hilary Duff just had her second with a different dad. That's right. There's a few others that I could name. So it happens, right? Yeah. It's a reality of our times, right? A lot of people get pregnant young. I mean, teen mom was a craze, which is really scary. Yes. But a lot of people think that at a younger age that they're ready to take on that responsibility, get married, et cetera, and then it just doesn't work out.
No.
So I felt like I wasn't really alone in that, I guess, because Kate Winslet also had the same situation. But
is that funny?
But yeah.
Is that funny?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if, people who are like me, who are not good at relationships, because that's,
Yeah, but look at
that's
the beauty. Like, you have 4 amazing children. The 2, that you have with... I love the fact that both Caleb and Mila have 2 completely different personalities. Like, they're the opposite in every way. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Well, there's some sort of beauty in raising children with people that you don't necessarily like, but you have to accept and show love to out of respect for your children. So there's something very humbling about that experience, and there's something very beautiful about it, and it creates, if you're able to keep your own feelings about the other party out of it,
right?
You can raise like beautiful well-adjusted children. Yeah. So it's definitely been a different, like very different and challenging experiences. And for me, there's been like, times where I've been very broken down about it and feeling very guilty about the fact that I decided not to be with my children's fathers, and what are the repercussions to them. Yeah. But I think as a mother, even if you stay in relationships, happy or otherwise, you still worry about, what is the example that you're setting and how, does this impact my kids? Yeah. Because I think that, I've read articles and heard from other people that, the example that your parents give you of their relationship is how, it may manifest in your own life, right?
God, no, I hope not.
Right. So that's...
I'm trying to be the complete opposite of what my parents were.
Right. Yeah. And why is that? Why is that?
And that's... I feel like looking back now...
Is it because you feel like they didn't love each other? Or?
Yes. Oh, okay. That's just like the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
Like looking back now, I don't know what age it was where you started to realize, I'd go to friends' house, I think it was, and I would see like mommies and daddies like giving each other kisses in the kitchen, and I'd be like, huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen my parents give each other a kiss.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I think it was like 11 years old. I just went up to my parents and I was like, why are you still together?
Really?
Yeah, because I remember I had a friend whose parents got a divorce.
Right.
And I remember, what is divorce?
Like, yeah.
They left. Oh, one of the parents left. My parents need this.
Why do you think that they stayed together?
For the kids? I don't know. Like, I think, too, my dad worked and my mom stayed at home and raised us, but she also ran a daycare.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think to myself, I don't know if it was the money, because my parents paid like $90,000 for their house in the 80s, and my dad was making like $50,000. They had their mortgage paid off when they were 32 years old.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Crazy, right? Yeah. And I remember when they paid it off. Like, I remember they had a party. They had a mortgage party.
Yeah.
But, it's just, basically with, and I don't know if you've ever heard this, but I've heard people say that when you start looking for a partner, you start looking for someone that's like your father, or how your father treated your mother.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And my first long relationship of 8 years, I did that.
Yeah.
And then I realized one day I was with someone who was going to be just like my father and mother were, and knew I needed out.
Yeah.
So then when I started looking for my life partner, I looked for the opposite of my father. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I found it.
Interesting.
And and I see how women tend to go towards people who are like their, like I was dating European, men, Italian, because my dad was Italian. But then I started realizing that some of these people were, I guess, being disrespectful, just like my dad was to my mom. My dad was never around. He did work a lot. He traveled. Yeah. But I remember even days they fought so loud and screamed at each other so loud. I remember running around the house, shutting all the windows. Yeah. So the neighbors wouldn't hear because I was embarrassed.
That's crazy.
Don't ask me what they were fighting about. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. It's just the feeling that you remember, right?
And I remember, and I remember, I don't even know how old I was. I might be 8 or 9, packing a bag. Yeah. And then walking to the end of the driveway because I had had enough of their fighting. I don't know where I was going. I only made it to the bottom of the driveway because I was like, I don't have money for a bus ticket. I don't even know where the bus stop is. Right. But so when I was looking for a life partner, I wanted to find the opposite of what. And those are things that I remember. I remember good times, but I also remember a lot of bad times in the fighting. And I would never want her, Evangeline, to have those memories like I do.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, so I definitely went down a similar path as my mother. So my parents divorced when I was super young. Yeah. I think I was 5 or 6. Wow. I don't even remember. I have no recollection of my parents ever even being together and knowing them as adults.
Which could be
like
a thing.
As an adult. Yeah. I could never picture them together. Like, I don't know how that even ever happened because they just seem so different. So my mother, after leaving my father, sort of just went down this very difficult road of being attracted to all the wrong men, like men that just were no good to her. Yeah. And I was privy to things at a young age, especially in my teenage years, that, you really should just not know about your mother from these horrible men. Anyways, so my very first boyfriend was a horrible, no good person. Really. I mean, he had a lot of problems, but he was no good. And I stayed with him for almost 6 years. Yeah. Very formative years of my life. And then just after that, it just became sort of like an avalanche of, being with men that didn't deserve me, didn't respect me. I sort of allowed them to control who I was and became this altered version of myself while sort of trying to pretend and put out the facade that I was actually, very happy. And this was,
I'm strong.
Yeah. So I didn't have any concept of what commitment or unconditional love really looked like from one adult to another.
So when your parents divorced, was she single?
No. She left my father for another man. Oh, so my sister's father. I
see. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So the whole story is this. My mother dated my sister's father in university. Okay. While she was dating my sister's father, she met my dad. Left my sister's dad for my dad.
Correct. Okay.
And then fast forward years later, my mom is unhappy in her marriage. She runs into him, I don't know how, this ex-boyfriend, and decides that she's going to leave my father for him now. Wow. So it's like this full circle thing. Full circle. Yeah. Oh. So I, really was going down the same path as my mom. And then when I met Daniel, I don't know if it was because of his age or I don't know. I don't know if it was because of who he was. But something in my mind just sort of shifted. It's like, I don't have to pretend to be anyone for someone to love me. I don't have to live like this if I don't want to. I don't have to keep pretending. Like, if I want to be happy, I can be.
Yep.
And, you know, I can be with someone who loves and accepts me as I am. And I don't know. So, and it's not perfect. Like, we have had
God, no.
epic fights. Because we're both very stubborn and like, opinionated people.
Yeah.
And very passionate. But we definitely have fought in front of the kids in a way that has made me feel very guilty, because I don't want to expose them to that. But at the same time, like, I'm of the mindset that I don't want to shelter my kids from conflict. I want them to understand that you can fight with each other.
That's right.
Yell at each other, and it is important to come back together when you love each other, to say, you know, I'm sorry, I forgive you. Like, I think there's a lot of value in that, and I was never exposed to that from my parents, for sure. Like, they would yell and scream at each other even post-divorce, and I never saw any sort of reconciliation
neither with
or
mine.
Any sort of admission of
there
guilt.
would be days with no speaking, and like the dinner table, they wouldn't even look at each other, and it was awkward.
And there was never admission of guilt or any apologies rendered or forgiveness or anything like that. It was just this animosity and conflict that just loomed there.
It was like a black cloud over your house.
Yeah. So, you know, my philosophy might be wrong. I don't really know. But what I do know is that I want my kids to see commitment, and I want them to see love, and I want them to see
compromise, and
all those things.
Yeah.
But I want it to be genuine, right? Like, I want them to see something that's authentic and genuine,
not
and
fake.
that's not like, we're not together because we have to be, because we have children. We're together because we choose to be. And that's important to me too, because, you know, my kids are going to grow up, and if I'm not choosing him every day, once they're gone, like, and choosing him for him, once they're gone, it's like, I'm not going to want to choose him anymore.
That's right.
Like,
I don't know.
Like, I chose you because we had kids, and now our kids are gone, so how do I choose you anymore?
Right? Yeah.
I don't know.
That's hard to think about, but they're going to be gone one day, and then you're going to be back just you two. I mean, you've never really had just
that.
You two.
No, we've never had that. That's why, you know, in some ways, you know, I'm really enjoying this time with our kids young and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to the time when Daniel and I can look at each other and be like, okay, what do we want to do today?
Yeah.
Just you and me.
Plan a vacation.
Yeah. That's another thing that I find myself being envious of in other people sometimes, is people who have childcare from their family whenever they want it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I need to take a break from my kids for 4 days, and they're just able to drop them off at their mom's. You know what I mean? Or at whatever. And just take a minute. I don't have that. I've never had that. So speaking of parents, Emily's mother is currently unable to get in her house.
Yeah.
Through no fault of her own, I'm sure.
Right. Why she carries no house key is beyond me.
When it's minus 30 outside.
Minus 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's accurate.
That's always a good idea. Because the gears in the garage door opener won't freeze.
Sometimes I wonder.
In minus 30. Yeah. I know. Do you ever get the feeling like it's your responsibility as an adult now to take care of your mother or your parents in general? I know your dad is a different case.
Yeah, my dad is totally different.
Yeah. But with your mom, like, do you ever feel that responsibility?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, if I don't hear from her. The best thing I have ever done is given her my old iPad.
Okay, that's interesting.
She would call.
Yes.
And it would be for one thing.
Yeah.
And the conversation would go on and on.
Right.
And on. Like, I'd always have the earphone plugged into the phone in my back pocket, and she would just talk and talk and talk. And I had this old iPad, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this to her and see what happens.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't call anymore.
Oh, good.
Which, I mean, and I love, Mom, if you're listening, I love you. But when you have a baby, you don't have time for those hour conversations like you used to.
Yeah.
So now she just texts And then I get to choose when I text back.
Oh, because she's using a landline.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, she doesn't have a cell phone. No,
Okay.
she doesn't believe in cell phones.
Oh, that's great.
Right? But cell phone would have been nice right now.
Yeah.
To call me to let me know that you're locked out of the house.
But how is she contacting your sister?
She walked to the neighbor's house.
Oh.
Yeah. But if she would have had a cell phone.
Right.
Anyways,
right,
that's another. So, yeah. So if you, listeners, if you have a parent that calls you.
From a landline.
And doesn't stop talking for an hour. Give them an old iPad. Go buy a new iPad. It's worth every penny. Because they will text you, and then you choose when you're going to text them back. And she texted me yesterday, and I didn't respond till today, but I never got a phone call.
Yeah.
So we still have conversation via text, and that's terrible to say. We still talk on the phone.
Yeah.
But it's not like it was before, and now I get to talk to her on my own terms.
But interesting, because you've basically created boundaries without having to have some sort of difficult conversation that would...
That's right.
Like, potentially hurt her
feelings.
And
she thinks this is great. She thinks the iPad is great because I send her pictures of the baby.
Right.
She saves them. She emails them. Whereas before I'd get the phone call. Can you send me a picture of the baby today? I need to email it to the 500 people on my list that don't even know you.
Yeah, I think we could do actually a whole podcast of the funny things that our mothers do.
Oh, yeah. We could write a book, actually.
Yeah, because my mom is Patty. We call her Patty. Yeah. And my mom, she does these things that we call the classic Patties. Mm-hmm. There are behaviors or incidents that are hilarious and wouldn't happen to anyone else except for my mother. So, I definitely think
do you think our kids are going to do that?
I don't know. I think it's possible. Like, I don't know.
Shit Emily says. Shit my mom says.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I hope my kids make fun of me. I hope that I can continue to be lighthearted enough to enjoy it. I do get more sensitive than I'd like to be, but I think it's, funny. And I definitely think that I feel responsible for my mom sometimes. Like, I do. Like, I want the best for my mom. Always.
Yeah, but sometimes they do shit. And like,
but they're their own people. Like, my mom is this, like, independent woman that, like,
they're grown adults. Like,
but she always is like, I don't need help from anyone sort of mentality.
And my mom's the same.
But it's not accurate.
She needs it.
Yeah.
They're afraid to ask for help also.
Yeah.
Whereas we are
So
not.
I think the underlying thing is, like, any age, anytime you're a mom, you need help.
Yeah.
Even just as a person. And you should always be able to ask for it. Yeah. But, there's always this negative thing around asking.
And I still enjoy the hour-long conversations, but let's do it when she's in bed.
Yeah.
Let's do it on a Saturday night when I'm in my pajamas with my tea and maybe my Netflix.
Yes.
And then we'll have a talk.
Yeah. See, I don't chat like that with my mom, for sure. Maybe I should. I don't know.
So we
I'm
call
trying
it
to
chat,
not
though,
do this show.
But she just talks and I just listen.
And you just listen.
Yeah. It's not really
well, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right, Evangeline, are we signing off, girl? Have you had enough of this chat shit? Alrighty. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.